Louder, louder, louder.
Yeah, everybody, it's LFG. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Friday edition of LFG with Jim Kozimor, live from Stamford, Connecticut. Dave Benz, who's hungover after 2 wine glasses, our associate producer, Bisa, and myself, Matt Fowler.
That'd be
How's
Paris,
everybody
France
doing?
to you. Paris, France to you, as far as you know.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, okay, we're going to pull the curtain back a little bit, but, yeah, Coz is eating, and, Dave's got a problem with light. He can't see light right now because he's so hungover.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
What did you drink, Dave?
You're way overselling this. He's way overselling this, Coz.
No, he literally said, I'm hungover because I had 2 glasses of
I
wine.
did say that, but I didn't say I can't see lights. I mean, I've got a little bit of my mic seemed a little hot there. I got a little bit of a headache.
I'm going to guess red wine. I'm guessing red wine.
Rosé.
All right.
So, the thing is I had a half a bottle of rosé left that, I don't know, it was so I went and had a glass last night. I had a late night call with my development team in India for Tickscape. And so, I poured myself 1 glass of wine that I was just kind of sipping on during the call, and then I went back to the fridge, and there was literally like one large glass of wine remaining. And I was like, well, I might as well just finish this thing off. But it didn't work out. I woke up this morning so hungover, man. My body does not, metabolize alcohol the way it used to. It's getting old sucks, man.
Yeah, it's a good lesson, though. So now you know what your limit is, and you're not going to make the mistake again. And I think that's good because you don't want to over booze. I'm on this 12-day Olympic journey, and I vowed not to drink for 12 days, which to many people would say, how hard is that? I drink every day. So this is going to clean my liver out for a while. The only time I don't drink is when it's Lent and I give it up for 40 days. And even that is a little bit of a mini cheat because I use the Sunday, absolve your Sundays. You know how each Sunday during Easter is its own Easter Sunday. So still, I'm going to go 10, 12 days without booze. You sleep better. You're more alert when you wake up. You get more out of your workouts. You're more productive during the day. There are a lot more reasons not to drink than there are to drink. So I think you get it's good every once in a while, Dave, to relearn. Hey, you know what? I shouldn't be knocking down too many beverages.
Yeah, well, listen, it is also a sad reality though that Matt is right about. I mean, 2 glasses. It's not like I had 2 bottles of wine. I had 2 glasses of wine, and it's like done. Anyway, so Coz, all right. So you are so when I did my one time being blessed enough to have done the Olympics in 2016, it basically was like we don't say that we're at I did the Rio games. We don't say we're in Rio, but we don't want to advertise that we're not, but we're also not going to lie about it. So is that kind of the same operational stance there?
It is. The hosts or anchors will make a comment and say, let's go to our at-home crew on occasion. Let's go to our at-home crew in Stamford. Here's Jim Kozimor and Charmaine Reed with badminton. And then we just call it. We never say anything about who we are, where we are. We just call the match. That's all we do. And so on occasion you'll hear them reference it, but they won't say that at all. There might even be a graphic for the anchors because everyone will see Mike Tirico in Paris. That's great. Most everyone else is 2 studios over from me here in Connecticut. So that's pretty much the thinking.
So as far as you know, which teams actually did travel? I'm going to guess. Tell me if I'm wrong, and maybe it's changed. On-site announcers, track and field.
Yep.
Swimming.
Yep.
Gymnastics.
Yep.
And volleyball for whatever reason. Volleyball. I know Chris Marlowe usually goes.
Yeah.
And then the only other one would be men's basketball.
Yep. Men's basketball will be there now. In fact, it might have been the year you were doing it. They had a basketball channel, a separate basketball channel. So they had their main announcer was in Rio, and then they had 2 other crews that were doing games from Stamford. So they might have some split crews for some of that. I also I believe diving will be in Paris, France, but I'm not certain of that yet because that event isn't scheduled to start, and I'm not sure if Ted Robinson will be in Stanford. He's been in Stanford the last couple of Olympics, so we will see if he is back on the travel crew. But it's a very short number of crews that are there live, and it is the big ticket items, like you point out. And now that NBC has the NBA package, they're certainly going to have their NBA, or what they think is going to be their NBA and WNBA crews trying to work overseas.
Well, and the it's already been leaked. Mike Tirico will be is likely to be, and it makes perfect sense, the NBC lead for the NBA.
That's a
And
little bit of a surprise. He did an interview and said he thought Noah Eagle was going to be the
well, I was gonna
lead
say
NBA guy.
Noah's gonna be the other guy, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
clearly Noah's their voice of the Big Ten, and
Yeah.
he's doing the men's basketball. So Noah is the rising star, and Noah is gonna no doubt be doing NBC basketball as well. Because I'm just hoping, I got some friends in Amazon, and I've been I've been working those channels. So
Good.
I was really happy to see Amazon, not get squeezed out of the deal. I was personally kind of hoping they did find a way. There was talk that there might find a way to try to still keep Turner involved, because
Right.
selfishly I'm like, let's keep the Turner people. I don't want anybody losing their jobs. Number
Yeah.
one, and because it's not good for people to lose jobs. But number two, I don't want all the Turner talent to suddenly be trying to
Right.
flock to Amazon.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
breaking
a good point.
news on
Yes.
that front.
Well, look
Apparently,
at you.
according to our associate producer Bisa, all-star associate producer, TNT has sued, or will file. TNT Sports will file a lawsuit against the NBA, given the NBA's unjustified rejection of our matching of a third-party offer. We've taken legal action to enforce our rights. We strongly believe this is not just our contractual right, but also in the best interest of fans who want to keep watching our industry-leading NBA content with choice and flexibility. We offer them through our widely distributed.
Matt, that news was that's like 48 hours old, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, Pisa just sent it as breaking. It's breaking
Yeah,
to
I
us.
mean,
Oh, did
it's-
Pisa
We
just
weren't
send
on
his ring?
48 hours ago.
Okay, because they
Yeah.
did issue a statement right away saying that they were going to take action. So I assume that meant they were going to file a lawsuit.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Because the NBA rejected. I mean, when they rejected, I'm going to call it Turner. I think the official name is Warner Brothers Discovery. Um,
That's what
and
WBD stands for. Okay.
yeah, and it was. They said that they were going to match, so it appeared that they were going to be able to keep it for a brief time, and the NBA steps in and kind of bigfoots them. I'd be intrigued by their lawyers to find out what grounds they're bigfooting on, because if you have the last right of refusal, the right to match, that would give you the right to match.
well,
So
yeah,
this
I guess
could be
the
interesting.
NBA is saying, and we're not privy to what the details are, right?
Right.
I'm sure they probably
Right.
will leak out, but I guess the NBA is saying that it wasn't really, they didn't really match. They only did like a partial match, and
Oh, okay.
so that's where the NBA is saying that they have. And I will say this: listen, the NBA is a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm fairly, and not that Walt Disney, Brothers is not a multi-billion-dollar company, but I'm pretty sure that the NBA, their lawyers felt pretty good about them being able to turn that deal down, turn that match down, or they wouldn't have done it. So, in any case, Coach, do you have the opening ceremonies on in your hotel room there?
I do not. I tend to. So they've had rehearsals the last few days, and I've been around the compound, and so I know enough about them. But I'm already getting a little inundated over because of kind of overstimulation of Olympic material. I literally just got into my room and called you guys, so I haven't turned on the television at all. So is it going on live right now?
It
That
is
what's
on
happening?
live right now. It's and excuse my ignorance of Paris, but is it how do you say the name of the river? The Seine River.
Seine, the River
This,
Seine. I'm not going to be one of these pedantic. You have to emphasize something. It looks like the River Seine to me. That's what I'm going to call it.
yeah, they're coming down the river right now, and
Supposedly really beautiful and unique, from what I understand.
yeah, they're coming in on boats. I guess
Yeah,
that's how they're making their way to the main stadium.
yeah. I believe this is. It will not be a stadium. issue. It's going to be just strictly down the Seine.
Just
My
strictly on the
understanding.
boats. They're just strictly
Yeah.
coming on the boats. Wow.
That's my understanding. But again, you know how it is when you get here. You're really ensconced in your sport,
Right.
doing what you need to do. So, for instance, my work day on day one, which begins Saturday, I will go in at 1:30 in the morning, and I will leave at 5 p.m. the same day. That's
Wow.
my first work day.
Okay, so now
And I
how
will do
many?
6 matches.
You'll do 6 matches. How long does a badminton match generally take? And
This
what are?
is even longer. Yeah, this is even worse. It could last as short as 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay, so you're going to have a lot of downtime. So you're basically my guess is this is what you're doing. You're doing any matches that involve Americans,
Boom.
and then you'll do all the medal matches.
You'll do all the medal matches, and then in between, because badminton is good. I've dropped it. I'm not going to try that badminton crap. I'm not going to have it yet. I'm sorry. It's just I can't do it. I don't think I sound right when I do it. Anyway, the thing for badminton is because so many of these events are outdoors, beach volleyball, track and field, whatever you got outside, there's rain and the elements come into play. And so when they have beach volleyball scheduled, when they have a shooting event that's outdoors, then they need to cover. And so their cover is often badminton. So we will do all of the U.S. matches. We will do some early storytelling with some of the better teams in the 5 different disciplines. And then we'll do the medal matches. So we could be done with a Team USA match. For instance, the first match in badminton involves one of the 2 best Chinese mixed doubles teams and the U.S. mixed doubles team. The very first match out of the gate. So they're going to leave the opening ceremony, go to the hotel, rest, and then go right to the badminton arena. And they'll get the first match in. And we'll do that match. And it's possible it could end in 20 minutes. And they might say, hey, we need you to do another match on another court now. So we'll quickly grab the research that we have on whoever the competitors are in that match. We'll pick it up mid-game and just start calling it from there. So it could be a real rugged first few days for the badminton crew.
Okay, so
you got 16 hours.
Yeah.
So 1:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. And in that time, you're going to be doing how many matches would you estimate?
So we're slated for 5. We've been given an extra, so it'll be 6. There's 1:30, maybe it's 5. 1:30, 4. Oh man, 1:30, 4. 5:30, 8 a.m. 1:40 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Does that make 6? I believe that makes 6.
So, Coz, the first one is one. So your first match, you're going hot at 1:30 a.m. Eastern. So 10:30.
I should say the first one is 2:30. I arrive at 1:30.
Okay.
But to prepare.
So you're going hot at 2:30 a.m. Eastern. So that's 8:30 a.m. or is it 8:30 or 9:30 a.m. Paris time? That's 8:30 a.m. Paris time. And that'll be 11:30 p.m. still Friday night here on the West Coast. And you're going to be on, I'm guessing, one of the Peacock channels. Do you know which one?
It'll be, so what we do in our game is also live to tape. So we'll broadcast that game instantly live to tape.
Sure.
And then they'll fit it into their programming grid. So we'll be done. Let's say it starts at 2:30 our time and it's over by 3 o'clock. They'll then take the 6 parts we've cut because we do outs and things.
It won't necessarily be live, even if I've got Peacock.
Peacock, correct. It'll be off. If it is live, you might get the international feed. You might get our feed because I believe Peacock is going to do international feed. If they've got a badminton channel, we're not going to do every match, but they do have a couple of crews that are doing matches on the international feed that just shows up. Peacock and NBC, when they show the U.S., they're going to use our feed then.
Okay. Well, I've got, we've talked about our TV setups, Coz. I've got every Peacock channel, plus I've got every international channel. I could flip through and find, the UK coverage, the French coverage, so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I could flip through, and I didn't think that NBC was going to show the opening ceremonies live. I figured they would hold them to tape for the national audience. So when I first got up this morning, I actually put on the BBC, and then I was like,
Hmm.
oh wait, it says NBC is live. So now I've got it up on NBC. And I see them boats coming in. By the way, I obviously this is a long ways from Connecticut, so I'm not expecting you to really be dialed in, but I'm going to guess it was a topic of conversation. The strike that hit Paris today, with apparently arson at some train stations, and really
Yeah.
kind of what have you heard about that? Anything?
So we have certainly talked about those things and preparing for France. It's my understanding. I'm not an expert on this. France is a country where there are numerous strikes and protests and demonstrations, some of them becoming violent. And the violence can be against material goods, like it was against the high-speed rail that they have in France, in which they've shut down a quarter of their scheduled routes through the weekend, which is going to alter plans for not only fans but some athletes who are supposed to arrive in Paris on those trains. But it's going to cause havoc throughout France. But they've talked about us preparing for if those things happen within our venues. So badminton is not big in the United States, but in Asian countries, it's massive. It's the swimming of China. It's the, gymnastics of China. It's the biggest thing going. And there are other countries who are unhappy with China. So there could be demonstrations that happen within our facility when a badminton match is going on, and we have to prepare for how we're going to handle that and whether or not the international feed is going to cover it or show what's going on in there. And so we do have our antenna up, but hopefully there are no injuries to any of these things. But it's my understanding that that plot has been right now, early reports pointed towards the Russians. There has been a Russian, of all things, chef who has been working in Paris at Michelin rated restaurants for the last 13 years. It's an understanding that he was someone who was behind leading some of these attacks that happened on the train situation.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
that is, yeah, it's just really sad. By the way, I think we're looking at this is Lady Gaga is now performing, I believe,
Oh my.
on as there's they're on some kind of a staircase that is glittering in gold, and Lady Gaga is singing. And Snoop Dogg is going to be part of the opening ceremonies tonight. I didn't
Yes.
realize
Yes.
Snoop Dogg was it was that big of an international superstar.
Well, Kelly Clarkson, Snoop Dogg, you gotta check all the boxes, man. We got everybody. We got Peyton Manning. Who else is going to be part of our crew? We got so many people who are part of the
Everyone loves
crew.
Snoop.
Who doesn't love Snoop?
I just
I
saw
got
the Lindsey Vaughn is part of the coverage. Um,
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing what they have going on there, and that's why at some point you almost have to step away because you're so. It's like everywhere you turn, it's everybody's. This is everybody's Super Bowl. If you are a rowing person, this is your Super Bowl. So the people who work, you know this because you had the most unique job when you were doing Rio. You did different events, and you get to work with people who are so into their sport. If they're the fencing analyst, man, they know granular.
oh
They
yeah.
they bring up things like, oh, remember in 2004 when Cyprus left off their third whatever it was guy, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
No.
One, I didn't even know Cyprus was in the event for crying out loud. But they speak about that the way the three of us would chop it up about Kyrie Irving beating the Warriors in a NBA Finals.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Matt, I want to
Jim.
get
Th-
I want to get to your hot Olympic take in
Got
once.
ya.
Kyrie. Matt, I want to get to your hot Olympic take in a second after Coach is throwing shade at you. But Coach, real quick, I just want to know, like, hey, I know you got in there. I believe you got in Wednesday,
Yep.
and you had meetings yesterday. You know, what's it been like? I know that there's shuttle buses, and you're probably staying at a hotel and going into the thing.
Yeah.
But what's it been like just being in there and getting a chance to be in that group again, and running into people that you're walking down the hallway and you're like, wow, wait a minute, is that yeah, that is
Yeah.
so and so.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've seen a lot of our cohorts from NBC Bay Area when we were working there. some of the producers who are now big producers at NBC Sports were producers working with us at the time.
Adam
So it was great to
Littlefield,
see
maybe?
some of them. I ran into him twice so far, and he's right now part of the production crew doing that show you're watching.
Wow.
At this point, yeah, I just saw him 5 minutes before they got the thing started, before they got the show started. He was walking down the hall. I said, Adam, when does it get started? He looks, he goes, 5 minutes, I gotta go. So he was running down the hallway to get to the control room. He's there on the talent side. Bay Area fans will know Laura Britt, who does she do 49ers? Does she do Giants?
She does Giants, and I think she does some 49ers, but Carlos is the main 49ers guy. By the way,
Yes.
Carlos is doing the Olympics for Telemundo, and he's in
Really?
Miami all week. He's one of their lead
wow.
guys for Telemundo.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Laura is working, I believe she's overnight. She might be afternoons. I happened to see her from afar in the commissary yesterday, and I'm hoping to, I will be able to run into her at some point to make sure I say hello to her. Laura and I are very good friends, and she's a fantastic talent. So we got a lot of people that we know that we've known from previous Olympics.
And Ahmed is blowing up. Ahmed Fareed.
He's in Paris.
Oh, is he in Paris? Wow.
He just got there yesterday. And so he'll be part of the crew, but I don't know what he'll be doing. So the games themselves and then the shows are different entities. So I'm not certain what he'll be doing, whether he'll be doing a Peacock show, whether he'll be doing social media shows.
Well, I just saw him goes on the NBC main channel, for getting ready to set up the intros for the opening ceremony. So he's getting a big role.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, and that's fantastic. Yeah, I when I saw on social media that he was in Paris, I knew I wasn't going to run into him here, so I was eager to find out what he was going to be doing. So it'll be a wild time. I'm just telling you that there's so much going on, you miss 90% of it just because you have to worry about what you're doing,
right,
and all this other stuff is going on at the same time. So there are days, if we were doing the show every day, there are days when you would tell me things I wouldn't know. And I might be in the booth next to the guy calling it.
Yeah.
So
wait, so you're gonna go 1:30. You're gonna get in at 1:30 a.m. Your last match is gonna end maybe around 5 o'clock Eastern, and then you're gonna turn around and have the same schedule like 5 days in a row.
No. So remember, unfortunately badminton. Unfortunately for me, they have 3 start times throughout the day. One is a morning start time, 8:30 to 11:30. Then there's one, it's an afternoon start time, 1:30 to 4:30. Then there's an evening start time that's 7 to 10 or 6 to 10. So I might have a match in the first slot. I might have 2 matches in the second slot and 3 matches in the third slot or 1 match in the third slot. You just don't know until they're scheduled. We only have the first 2 days scheduled. Then once teams start to win, and there are some athletes who compete in singles and doubles, so they have to figure out where they lay. So we won't know our schedule for day 3 until the end of day 2, which makes it a quick scramble at that point. But I'm lucky right now. It appears that day 2 for me won't start until a 5 a.m. match, which means I'll get in at 4 a.m.
Okay, well that's a little better, especially considering you're not going to get home
till
late.
then.
Yeah, you can sleep and have 2 glasses of wine. That'll help you out, Coach.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, hey, listen, if you go 2.5, just cancel the whole day. Just cancel the whole day.
Yeah. Okay. So, Coach, before we went hot, Matt said he had a hot Olympic take that he wanted to drop. So,
do we want to tease it and go to break?
Is it time for a break? Yeah, we filled a half an hour. All right, let's do a break, and we'll come back with Matt's hot Olympic take on the other side of this, and also just get more stuff in general about what Coach is excited about for the Olympics. And I want to know the basic rules of badminton because I do not really know what they are. So
plus we'll get Drew Goldfarb's Olympic betting.
Yes, we need that. I need that in my life.
We'll have Drew coming on at 11 a.m. as well. So
all right,
we'll
let's take a time out. 90-minute show today, and we're back after this on LFG.
I'm Cash Saroy, and this is the Collectible Network, the world's first streaming network devoted to sports cards and collectible content of all kinds.
You're live on the Collectible Network.
Have you ever been in a sports card break? Try it. It's easy. Whoa! Win an online auction for your team, then watch our live stream on Twitch or YouTube, and all of the cards from the team you won get shipped to you the next day. You're amazing.
Thank you for subscribing.
Follow the Collectible Network on social media right now. The Collectible Network, where you are, we are. This is One of One.
sure got to climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will. But today I am still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By
old.
that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
He signed your bill. Now you're a law.
Oh, yes.
Live from the Tickscape Studios. Let's f***ing go.
Oh, the Friday edition. Oh, I got my echo on. Turn off the echo chamber. There we go. Friday edition of LFG. Friday is the new Thursday. I've heard that somewhere. Dave Benz, Jim Kozimor in Stamford, Connecticut, Matt Fowler in the production studio in the friendly wine country confines, and Bisa, who is our fantastic associate producer, is coming to us from the Las Vegas, Nevada area, where the NBA Summer League recently just wrapped up, and we're watching. I've got the Olympic opening ceremonies on over my shoulder. That's why I keep looking off to the left, and I always love seeing countries like Botswana make their way in with their contingent of 5 athletes, and some of these countries, I'm like, I have no idea where these. I mean, I couldn't put a lot of these companies on, or companies. A lot of these countries.
I should try to find them on a map. That's a pretty good game if you have any kids out there. Sit there and watch the opening ceremony, and then have a globe with you. And then when one like Botswana comes on, try to find it on the globe. I think that's a pretty good game.
Yeah, that would be a good game. I'm guessing Drew Goldfarb would be pretty good at that game, although Drew is also very good at, being able to get his Stanley Cup champs gear, or kit, as they like to call it, over in Europe in a timely fashion. Did that just arrive this week?
It's been arriving bit by bit, and this is basically what I've been able to keep of it, because there have been so many misprints and poorly made garments of all of it. I think I ordered a half dozen T-shirts and was able to keep 2 because the other 4 were just so messed up.
That's not good that they were that bad. What was wrong with them?
Weird stuff. A lot of it was a couple of shirts had angled prints, where there was a straight line across it, and I took the bubble level because I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy, and held it up against my chest, and it was like that. not meant to be diagonal, but it was diagonal.
Wow.
And there was one shirt where the sleeves, the best way to describe it is that the sleeves were like misattached, because it's a weird thing. Like one side, the sleeve would be normal like that, where, you know, it goes up and pulls a little bit, but gently. And the other side, it was almost like the cuff was attached to the shirt, because it would just do that if I was holding my arm up.
And is this from Fanatics, or where did you order this from?
From Fanatics. Yeah.
Wow. Did they end up comping you your order?
They accepted a return on all of that stuff. So it's I literally think I ordered 20 items on that order, and it was able to keep like 7.
I think by the time you had to return a bunch of stuff, they should have been like, yeah, and we're giving you a 50% discount on what you did pay for.
They gave me a promo code to match the one I had used, because so much of my order couldn't be properly fulfilled. So they just basically reinstated the promo code that I used on the order. So,
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. That's why I ordered 3 hats and like a half dozen T-shirts, is so that I would make sure I had at least 1 hat. I actually had 2, and like, you know, 2 Panther shirts.
So is it? How long has it been? Has it been a month since the?
It's been a month. Yeah,
yeah.
It was a month just a couple days ago, because the draft was is now like a month ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy how quick time flies. And now, of course, we've got Olympic fever. Drew Goldfarb is our sports betting analyst. Drew, we left our audience with a cliffhanger though before you joined, before we went to break. Matt Fowler said he's got a hot Olympic take, and I've been sitting on this the whole time. I'm dying to know, Matt Fowler, what is your hot Olympic take? I don't think it's going to be a popular one, by the way.
No, it's not. And I think, well, you see, I can't keep track of, you know, there's the games in the lead up to the Olympics, whether they're sanctioned or just warm-up games, but there was the whole thing with the U.S. and South Sudan, right? And South Sudan almost beat the United States. And everybody freaked out. Oh, my God, we almost lost to the South Sudan.
Did everybody freak out, though? Because I really don't know anybody that even talked about it.
Well, but I mean,
social media.
Yeah, it was all over social media. So that's the definition of everybody freaking out.
Okay.
Dave. Come on, it's
all right.
2024.
Well, I stay off social media, so I'm immune to it.
Well, there's your first problem. Not drinking 2 glasses of wine last night, apparently. So I don't care. I literally do not care about all this. Oh my God, you almost lost to a country that you should have beaten. We should freak out over this. It's like, why does any of this matter? Like, who cares? You get these superstars. They're going over to Paris because they want to get a gold medal, obviously, and they have, you know, they always have the best team. We went over it again. I think they lost one time when they used college players, you know, back in wherever before the Dream Team.
1988.
Right? Yeah, and ever since then they've just dominated, and so. It's like, oh my goodness, the South Sudan pushed them to you know, the last shot. LeBron had to get a game winning. Who cares? Does anybody really care? I don't care. And I just think it's weird also that we put this
not so hot so far.
This
kind of lukewarm.
Yeah, lukewarm. I'm with you on that, Coach.
We put this pedestal. Everybody, all our athletes on this pedestal. Oh, you know, they need to represent our country well, and they do. What does getting a gold medal around your neck, you know, because you played a sport well, you know, what is that? I don't understand how it translates to being patriotic. I really don't. I never have understood that, ever. I never have understood it. And it pisses me off that people get so passionate about it. Ironically, I'm a sports guy, so I guess I should be passionate about it. But I don't know. It just, it's weird.
You're also an American. Dude, I don't know, like, okay. There's so much to unpack there. First of all, like whatever people were reacting about with South Sudan, I don't think anybody really deeply cared. I think that's more of a sign there's not a whole hell of a lot to talk about, although NFL training camps are now open, so that's changed. But the other thing is that going and getting an Olympic medal obviously means a lot, dude. It's about being an American. That is something that people just dream of doing, representing your country. You don't think this is a big deal for Steph Curry? Everything Steph has done, this is huge for him.
No, what I mean is, and maybe I should rephrase, what I mean is for the people that aren't actually competing, you know, for the fans, it's like this such a big patriotic thing, and it's for the
We're
most part,
Americans.
it's
We
sports.
like America to do well. It's a
For
big
the
deal.
for the most part, it's and basketball and soccer and a few other sports are the big ones that everybody follows. But for the most part, there's a lot of sports that other than every 4 years, people don't really care about. I mean, like Jim was saying about the fencing guy that knows everything about from 2004. Okay, but who the hell else knows anything about that? And it seems weird to get all patriotic about getting a gold medal in fencing or whatever when
Matt,
99% of the population can't name one person on the fencing team.
it's not about whether you can name somebody on the fencing team. It's just about getting caught up in it. And once every 4 years is the right amount of fencing in my life. I mean, I can, it's the right amount of diving in my life. It's the right amount of, equestrian in my life. Once every 4 years, I can look at the best in the world and know that these people are the best on the planet at what they're doing. And I can have an appreciation for that. And even if it's not an American in the final, if it's a final of something, I want to see it. I want to see the best athletes that are the best at their craft, and it's awesome to see them get that spotlight.
Yeah, I like to see them compete. It's neat to see different countries battling it out. Maybe my hot take is I don't understand how you don't understand that. It's neat to see the Americans because I'm an American. I like for America to do well in things.
Well, sure, but what the other thing that is part of it is just this whole, okay, where the hell was this the other 3 years? Like, where's this patriotic spirit?
Well, you only have to go back 2 years. That's the Winter Games.
Well,
you know what? You see it in other areas, and I didn't hear exactly, Drew, what you had said, but you get it in slices. For instance, there is a slice of American sporting life that really loves the U.S. men's national soccer team. And they have that patriotism when they play, and they want them to do well, and they follow them, and they understand it, and they rally around Team USA. So it's there. It's just, like Dave said, it's not there for fencing on an odd year. It's not there for pick your sport on an odd year. And this is bold. It might even mean the same thing in gymnastics, which is massively huge in the Olympics. But every year at the World Championships, I'm not on the edge of my seat watching the gymnastics finals. So I just think it's neat that we all get together as a world, which we're not doing to begin with. And hopefully we can have some level of sporting competition that is on the level and we can compete fairly with one another. Although I will say this, to speak on your behalf about this, since it has gone full on professional athletes, I think there's less patriotism involved. When it's a bunch of amateurs, there's a guy on the U.S. team. I think it's the guy who set the record in the shot put. He works an oil rig during the rest of the year. He works an oil rig to pay the bills.
That's cool. That's cool.
He should be carrying the flag down the Seine with the rest of the country. With the rest of the Team USA. Not the guy who made $100 million last year and the female tennis player who made $50 million last year.
Would you rather see like Rafael Nadal carrying a flag though, or like Joe the plumber from?
That's a great question, and we had that debate here. That is a great question, and my feeling is, because I'm too close to it, is I see Rafael Nadal all the time. I see LeBron James all the time. I see Coco Gauff all the time. I don't see Joe the plumber, and his story is more interesting to me. But that's it. I'm a one case study. Yeah. Right?
I do agree with you on that it's more interesting, but like if you're thinking about it from an American perspective where we have, you go back to like fencing once every 4 years. Well, if fencing is the biggest deal in a certain country, in the same way that like soccer or rugby might be, they're going to send the person that is going to be most recognizable by their country as the representative because it's someone who's very popular. You're going to see a guy like Nadal or someone who is going to have that global recognition, or at least global recognition within his sport. And that's like having LeBron James carrying the flag. Is rather than being like, I have no idea who any of these people are, because that's for your country. You know LeBron, you're going to see him 365 days a year. But for someone who's watching from a different part of the world that may not be into basketball, that's the representation of the U.S. because he's a top athlete who millions upon millions, if not billions of people are aware of. So that's the kind of the statement that I would make. Because I do agree, like, it's cool to see the I don't want to be like, oh, the random competitors because they're committing their life to this. But if you're trying to like in the same way that, when we send, not to bring politics into the Olympics, but when we send someone from the political sphere to go overseas anywhere, we're not sending like a state house representative from Montana. Because one person voted for that guy. No one, even in Montana, knows who that person is. So you send someone who can at least be identified by the majority of people in the country, if nothing else.
Well, and the other thing is too. The other thing is too. Listen, the billions of dollars that are paid to cover this, like you want to be able to get some clicks on social media. And yeah, Joe the plumber or the guy, the shot put guy, Coase, that you said that's working an oil rig. It's a great story, but it's not going to get a click without you knowing the backstory. Whereas, here's what LeBron looked like bringing in the flag down the River Seine. Somebody's going to likely click on that just to see that. So,
NBC's going to want that. And in Canada during the Winter Olympics, they're going to want Sidney Crosby carrying the Canadian flag or someone of that equivalent because the companies that are paying, to Dave's point, the billions of dollars in TV rights are going to want to have that moment that they can show and like run in their highlights packages for their country broadcast.
It's true. There's a story. When's the last time the U.S. had an Olympics? Was it a Winter Olympics? Was it Salt Lake?
Oh yeah, they had Salt Lake. Yeah, was that 2002? I want to say.
And they're coming back to Salt Lake City too.
Right. And then,
was there one in like the Northeast, or am I just?
No. It's going to be obviously in LA in 28. Which, by the way, because that's going to be. I'll be curious. Will they still send everybody to Connecticut, or will they have more people on site in LA?
Yeah, I'm just guessing it'll be in Connecticut, even though they could probably put us in sound stages in LA. It's just easier.
The way it's set up. Yeah, maybe
Command Central.
Yeah, maybe they expand that footprint a little bit. Maybe you got 10 live crews instead of 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Most of it will probably still be back in Connecticut.
Yeah. But to get back to the Winter Olympics, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Team USA hockey team from 1980 that held the flag. Were they the last ones to bring the flag into the stadium? I believe they were. And a speed skater by the name of Eric Heiden, if you're familiar with him.
Oh, yeah, I remember it.
Right now, a doctor. He is the all-time winningest gold medal winner for a Winter Olympics for the USA. And he was tweaked. He felt the hockey moment was brilliant without question. But
Scott Hamilton carried the flag at the opening.
Is that who it was? Okay. Thanks for looking that up. There's a story in there, and I'm trying to remember when it was, but Eric Heiden didn't participate in it because he felt as the winningest Olympian, that should have been his honor, and he wasn't asked to be something, and so he opted not to be a part of it, which I found to be, that's pretty interesting. That's what it means to some of these athletes. Much different now. The athletes this year, it's my understanding, voted on who was going to do it, so the athletes chose LeBron James. I don't know if there was any politicking that went on, but again, maybe because I'm so close to it, I like the Joe the plumber story a little bit more than I like the other stories, but I certainly understand why.
Yeah. So in LA, I mean, so you're talking about, you think about that great moment with Ali in Atlanta the last time the Summer Games were in the U.S.
That was moving, wasn't it?
I mean, like, what could
that's it. Not the flag. I'm sorry, Drew. Not the flag. It must have been the cauldron. It must have been
the torch.
The torch actually lit. Okay.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg got to carry the torch briefly for this one. That's fun.
How about it?
Yeah.
Now I have a question. Was Snoop Dogg completely clear of any other specific substances in his system when he was?
The torch looked like a blunt.
That's hilarious. Dude,
I mean,
did you make that up, or is that true? Because that's hilarious.
I was watching the video earlier, and someone pointed it out, and I was like, oh my god, it does, because it comes like a point on both ends, and
someone has had to have made that joke. If they didn't on NBC, I might make it on the badminton coverage.
Does anybody have any clue who this band is that's playing right now? Am I the only one with that on live? They're some kind of a rock band out the side of a castle or something over the River Seine that they're playing, and I don't recognize the band. But they've got everybody's on like their own little mini stage.
By the way, according to associate producer Beast, it looks like it's pronounced Seine.
Seine?
Seine? Is that how you say the Seine?
What do you? Oh, yeah. Oh, there. That does look like a blunt. Yeah. Look
Ooh,
at that.
yeah.
That is good work
Plots
by
where
Drew.
Snoop Dogg had a hand in designing the the torch.
Yeah. Anyway, Drew Goldfarb is our sports betting analyst. And Drew, how big of a draw for the sports books are the Olympic Games? And are there betting lines on things that Can you bet on badminton or any of these other sports?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at badminton specifically, you're looking at
who doesn't?
individual teams.
And who doesn't want to look at that specifically?
The American team is actually plus 16,000. They have the longest odds made available by FanDuel at the moment.
So wait, $100 would win you 16,000.
Yes, that is correct.
Wow,
So,
Matt Fowler's all over that.
Yeah, let's go.
Max bet is 50 on FanDuel for this one though. Probably
Let's go.
because of the turnaround. So $50 to win $8,000 in profit on that. China's favored to win men's badminton anyway. Haven't glanced over at the women's side yet. If you got that.
So there are 5 disciplines. I do have a question about that, Drew. There are 5 disciplines of badminton: men's and women's singles, same thing with doubles, and then mixed. Mm-hmm. So they would have a favorite in all 5 disciplines.
I'm seeing 3.
Okay.
It's the doubles for all 3.
Okay. So the mixed men's and women's doubles.
Yeah, it's possible singles is available. I'm just glancing at FanDuel, and I will be very transparent and honest and say I am not a badminton expert by any means. So
me neither.
I'm reading numbers off the screen to you here. So at your own risk or desired level of risk, if you're going to take badminton betting.
By the way, I need to know more on the betting in a second, but since we're on badminton, Coz, what are the basic rules of badminton? How many games are there in a match? How do you score? All that.
Yeah. It's best 2 out of 3 games. It's played to 21, win by 2. It's rally scoring, so there's a point in every serve. And if it gets to 29, all you have to do is get the 30. If it's 29-29, all you have to do is get the 30, and that's your win. That's the basic generic, here's how we play the game rules. But people don't realize this. By far, it is the fastest sport at the Olympics. So, for instance, tomorrow I'm doing a match between China and Malaysia. And one of the young women on the Malaysian team, her name is Pearly Tan. Pearly Tan. She set the women's record for the hardest hit shot in a game, and the shuttle went 273 miles an hour.
What?
273 miles an hour. Yeah. That's how fast. So in doubles especially, it is by far the fastest. So Paul Skeen's fastball goes 101 miles an hour from 60 feet 6 inches. A badminton court is 44 feet long. So 200 plus miles an hour coming at you from a shorter distance, and you've got to redirect and deflect with your, 27 to 29 inch racket. That's 9 inches wide.
Yeah, I think I'd die.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when the shuttle gets hit over the net, or the birdie as we used to call it when I played as a youngster, so I'm guessing that's not an official badminton term, the birdie?
We'll talk about that during the show, Dave, so make sure you tune in to badminton on one of the family of networks. But they don't like to call it birdie. We do in America. They like to, and I don't know why. I mean, it's got feathers and it flies. But they want to call it shuttle or the shuttlecock.
Okay, well, which is much better. So the shuttle, the shuttle, when it clears the net and now it's coming onto my side, do I as a team have only one opportunity to hit it back over? Or so I can't set it like volleyball. I can't set it and have my teammate spike it.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. There are some similarities to pickleball. The exact same size court for doubles in badminton is the exact same size court for pickleball. The lines are exactly the same, although you can go into what a pickleball fan would call the kitchen area, the kitchen. You can go in there. Serves have got to be on the line. Now in pickleball, when I serve to you, don't I have to be past the service line? I can't be on the line.
Pickleball's strange in the fact that the lines are actually out on a serve, but they're in all the rest of the time.
Right. So that's the part that I often, even on the back line, is that true on pickleball? Even on the back line?
You know, I think the back line may be in. I think it's just that center line, actually,
Yeah.
Coach, that's out. Because technically you need to land it in the playing area. So if you're not,
Right.
so the line is, I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. I know the line 100%, I'm sure, is out in the middle and in the front. The front and the middle, the front of the kitchen and then the middle, those are out. I think the side and the back may be in on the serve.
Yeah, it's there are similarities between the sports, so we'll use some of that as an understanding for what they try to bring the game to an American audience to give them an understanding. We'll do some of those speed comparisons. You know, the shuttlecock that we were talking about. If you were to take your standard telephone and lay it down, the width of your phone, the width of it from left to right as you look at your screen, that's how long a shuttlecock is. If you lay down a shuttlecock, that's the size of a shuttlecock, about the width of your phone. So that's another way to give a visual to a fan and say, oh, this is the size of that thing. A deck of cards is another one. It's about the size of a deck of cards.
So how do you so it's rally scoring. How do they how does the server change though if there's a point every time that it's served?
If I'm serving to you and I serve and I score, I keep serving. If I serve and you score the point, you get service, and we're on diagonal sides and it's a diagonal serve. If you serve and I score the point, my partner then will serve to be the lead serve.
Okay. All right.
And she will continue to serve in mixed doubles. She will continue to serve until we lose the point.
Okay.
Jim, do you
Yeah.
know as a badminton expert, do you know when the first unofficial game of badminton was played?
The very first, well, there are a couple of different stories. One is it began in India. It began as a game called Pune because it was played in the town of Pune outside of Mumbai. And it was in the 1800s, and there were some British soldiers who were stationed there. And they came up with this game. They took a champagne cork, stuffed some feathers into it, and they used to hit it back and forth. There are others who say there was a game called Battledore and Shuttlecock, in which it did the same concept, but the idea was to keep it afloat. Now, in badminton, you want to hit it to the ground and score a point. In Battledore, the idea was, let's see how long our rally can go. So if you could hit it 30 times and keep it in the air, that was that game. Those soldiers came back to Great Britain, and they stayed in a town of Gloucestershire at a place called Badminton House. That's where they were housed, and they started to play that game there. And the room they played in was the North Hall, and the North Hall measured 44 feet by 20 feet. So that's why the court is 44 by 20 at this point. And so they started to play the game there. Someone then strung a net between them, and they came up with the idea to hit it so that my opposition could not hit it. And that's when the game started. So it was in the 1860s, roughly, is when all of that was going on.
No way. According to the Google machine, it was 1899 was the first unofficial, and it was probably that game that you were talking about. Yeah, when they came back after the Civil War.
Matt Fowler, I got to give Coach some props here. Were you expecting that thorough of an answer, Matt Fowler? That was really, really impressive. We are not worthy.
No, what I was just gonna say, I was not expecting that. Dave remembers because you were there back when that happened. Because that's what happens when you get to the point where you drink 2 glasses of wine and you're hungover. Then you're about that old. But no, Jim, that's very, very impressive. That explanation. I just saw it was Civil War, and then when these soldiers got back to Great Britain, that's when that started. But then you expounded to great lengths on that, so that's very impressive.
Yeah,
but I would expect nothing less.
Maybe a little much for the audience at home.
No, I would expect nothing less from an Olympic announcer. And Dave just needs to tell us what the drink of choice was back then. And
listen, wine has always been in fashion, my friend. The wine and beer have been around for a long time.
True.
Yeah, it is interesting though that we as a human race have decided that it's a good idea. Basically, you're poisoning yourself is what you're doing for a desired effect.
You're putting toxins into your body. Drew, of Olympic sports, is there betting interest in the big main sports, your swimmings, your gymnastics and things like that? Is there actual interest in sports that, the mass fans will start to gravitate towards?
I mean, that's what's going to draw in people is if you're going to have fandom, it's going to drive people to it. You're also, with stuff like this, I think that you have people who like to use the lack of knowledge about these types of sports when you get to the Olympics, when you get down the card, to use a wrestling term, that the odds may be more beneficial to someone who really knows the game, because like sports books don't usually have like specialists for badminton or beach volleyball or canoeing. So if you've been following like the rowing teams at Dartmouth forever, and you have like an expert understanding of it, this is the time of year or the time of, the time period that you're able to go through and be like, this is where you can find odds that only you will know are really heavily in your favor. Or they might be really heavily against you. But that's kind of it. For me, that's where I look at something like this. Because like I said, like there's so many sports that happen during the Olympiad that I do not know enough about to say this is good, this is bad. And there are people who this is not just a 1 month every 4 years thing for them. And for them, this is the time where they can really kind of take advantage of maybe a slightly less knowledgeable than usual sports book.
Will a line move maybe because of that, more so than it might? Like, I mean, if somebody walked into MGM and said, I want to put 50 grand on somebody in Greco-Roman wrestling, would they maybe be like, we might want to take a look at this line?
I mean, alarm bells are going to start going off if you get like that guy. And if you're the type of person who's going to walk in MGM and place a $50,000 bet at the window, they probably know who you are by that point anyway, before you've done that with a cash wager of 50 grand. So they probably know to take what you're doing seriously and make some adjustments so that this way you might be the only person to take advantage of that line.
Hey, I have a question. Well, real quick on that. If I were to bet $50,000 on anything, am I smarter to go to one book and play $50,000, or do I want to keep it quiet and do 5,000 at this book and 6,000 at that book and 4,000 at this book and get like 10 different sports books, but still bet my $50,000 so nobody's on to what I'm doing?
I mean, it's certainly going to be, especially if they're going to have a cap or something that might set off hold on a second here kind of thing where they might limit the amount. You're going to draw less attention to yourself by placing smaller bets. Like no one that goes up to the window and places a $20 bet on anything is going to have an impact on anything. Unless they have been made aware of the other 5 MGM sports books on the strip, that this one dude in a maroon and gold shirt is going around placing these small wagers on this exact thing over and over and over again. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, when I was looking it up just now, I was finding the giant 16,000 plus 16,000 odds. FanDuel has a cap on it, so you can't bet $100 on that. You can only bet up to 50. So sports books are not dumb. They're gonna take measures to make sure that you can't take advantage of them in that way. So that's kind of the way that goes. It's
okay.
When you get to the Olympic sports are, especially in the American sports book, basketball, hockey, baseball when it happens are like the 3 that the American sports books have an expert on staff year round. So they're going to make sure that you don't bankrupt them on the Olympics.
All right, listen, we're at the bottom of the hour. Let's sneak in our final break of the show. Drew, can you stick around? And Coach, you guys good to stick around?
Yeah, Matt, you had a question and I cut you off. I feel bad about that.
Do you want to hold it, or you want to do it now?
I'll remember it on the other side of the break.
Okay, and when we come back, we're going to get Beast in at some point today, too. She's got a trivia thing for us, and maybe a letter from the mailbag. We'll see. We got 30 minutes left in this abbreviated show on this Friday. You're listening to LFG.
Hello?
Tracy, it's Phil.
Phil, where the hell are you guys? I'm freaking out.
Yeah, listen. We fucked up. Whatever happens here tonight may as well never have happened at all.
If you want to see your friend again, you get me my Eddie Grant.
Who are you?
I don't know, Phil.
The bachelor party the whole night. Things got out of control and we lost Doug.
Alright, what the fuck, man? We gotta get this shit together, guys.
Y'all ready for this?
What a shot by Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore! Driving 400 yards!
He's a publicist's dream.
Happy Gilmore. He's been the talk of the course today with his huge drives and his amazing...
Hey, my girlfriend's dead, you know.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
I've heard you've done some really interesting things here.
Hey, who's that?
Shooter McGavin.
You killed a golf legend.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors. I'm sorry, Shooter. There's nothing I can do.
Guess I'll have to take care of this myself.
He's just threatened by you.
Congratulations, murderer.
You know, I know what you're doing right now, and I don't like it.
Let's do it. Hey.
Okay, we'll go on a date.
You gotta give me a big, fat kiss. You gotta pretend that you like it, too.
How's that nice girlfriend of yours?
Oh, she's dead.
You killed Bob Barker.
I know that, and I'm sorry.
Kick him off the tour.
That might be extreme considering the fact that our ratings were the highest that we've ever had.
I was on this tour for one reason, money. But now I got a new reason.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Listen, this call's about business. Anybody I get close to dies. If I were you, I'd run.
Oh my God!
Somebody closer! Get me out of here! You're gonna die, clown!
Stay still!
We're having Gilmore, anything!
Oh my God, power failure. It's getting very scary in here.
It's the bottom of the hour, or close enough. Time for your Tickscape Studios Sports Update with Matt Fowler.
The Boston Red Sox acquired left-hander James Paxton from the LA Dodgers for minor leaguer infielder Moises Bolivar on Friday, attempting to fortify the rotation as they chase a playoff spot in the wide-open American League landscape. For all the news, updates, hot takes, tune in to LFG with Jim Kozimor, associate producer Bisa, myself, Matt Fowler, and Dave, 2 glasses of rosé Benz, here on LFG.
Matt is always looking to take a shot when he can because, you know, not like we've ever taken any shots in Matt's direction.
That's true.
That's true. We've never done that.
Wait for the goose.
I am talking, damn it. Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of taking shots, I think we should work this in quick while Drew is here. Where is the? I'm flipping through my soundboard. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's roll this quick.
What's a weekend of sports without a little action? And no one craves the action more than gambling degenerate aficionado Matt Fowler.
How many sandwiches will he lose this week?
It's time for another edition of Being Matt's Bookie.
When last we left Being Matt's Bookie, Matt Fowler was down. Was it 29 sandwiches to Coase, or is it 24? 24 sandwiches to Coase. And you were down. I'm losing track, man. You're so many sandwiches down. I've got it on the texts here, but you are.
I'm a steak dinner. I want a steak dinner.
You're a steak dinner. I think you're at 29 glasses, right? I think Matt now owes me. Is it 19 glasses, Matt? Not glasses.
Sandwiches?
Emily just texted me, by the way. She thinks I had more than 2 glasses of wine last night. I swear it was only 2.
They were big glasses. They were big gulp size.
Dave, it would benefit you to lie and say that it was more than 2, because that way we wouldn't think that you're hungover from 2
No, I'm
glasses of
telling you,
wine.
it was 2 glasses of wine. I'm just a lightweight. I can't drink. But Matt, you're just.
Is made out of glass. Doesn't make one bottle of wine, 1 glass of wine.
I started with a half a bottle of rosé. Okay, there's normally 4 glasses of wine in a bottle, roughly. And I had half a bottle, so I drank a half a bottle of rosé over the course of about 2 hours. So it's not like I took the bottle and just chugged it. Okay, it was like, but I'm just a lightweight. I am a lightweight.
See, Dave, it works like this, man. When you break your ankle because you trip over your kid's toy that you left in the middle of the room, you don't tell your friends that. You say that you got in a bar fight and you ended up with a broken ankle. It sounds better, dude.
I don't care how it sounds.
Arthroscopic surgery on your ankle, you tell people the real story, because it's that you ran a half marathon and then a 12K like a month later, like an idiot. It's been 5 years.
Exactly. So in any case, Matt, all I know is I'll pull up the number, but you're down a ton of sandwiches. Len, where I do have a sandwich. There we go.
Sandwich scoreboard update.
Okay, so you're still down. Matt has not paid any of his sandwich debt to you yet, right?
No, there has not been any sandwich debt paid off. And I got some disturbing news about sandwich places today on my bus ride to the NBC facility that I'll have to share later.
Oh, you can't share it over the air?
Well, they have lawyers.
Oh, okay. Well, then that answers that question.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. So you want me to pick games so that I can be down more sandwiches, right?
Okay. According to what I'm seeing, I've got it now, Matt. You owe me 16 sandwiches, and you owe Coase 24 sandwiches. You're down 40 sandwiches. You're negative 40 sandwiches at this point.
Okay. All right.
So you're chasing. You're chasing.
All right. Well, see now, am I allowed to make a
mega
straight bet? Yeah, no, just a straight bet, just one bet. But I'll put a lot of sandwiches on.
Double or nothing?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Every sandwich from a regular sandwich to one of those giant ones at the delicatessen in New York.
The one sandwich that I did have, Dave ordered it and he sent it to me and I paid him for it, and it was like this fancy 7-star restaurant with sandwiches.
Let's not get carried away. It was because the DoorDash fees jacked the price up. So it was like, then I took 3 sandwiches off your debt for it. So anyway, just give us what your reaction is, man, and we got to decide whether or not we want to take it.
All right, I believe the New York Yankees are going to get out of their slump this week, or today anyway. They're playing the Boston Red Sox. Yankees-Red Sox, big rivalry. The Yankees are slight favorites at minus 120. They have Nestor Cortez on the hill. So,
where's the game?
The game is in Boston.
Yankees have a better road record than a home record. They're 33-21, playing anywhere other than that little teeny tiny home run box they call a ballpark.
So I will have to give up more sandwiches than I get if I do a straight bet on this, but I will be willing to. I want to win 10 sandwiches, and the Yankees are minus 120, which means I would have to put up 12 sandwiches. If my math is correct, Drew, is that right?
Yep, bet $120 to win 100 in profit, so bet 12 to win 10. That also works for sandwiches or dollars.
So you're basically, yeah. I don't know if I want to go 12, but I'd be willing to go half that, Matt. I'll take 6 to 5. I'll put 5 sandwiches up against your 6 on that. If Coase wants to go any more on that, then that's up to Coase.
Those odds are terrible for me, but yeah.
What do you mean? Those are the same odds. It's 12 to 10 is the same as 6 to 5.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I'll let you guys play it out. I think I like watching from the sidelines at this point.
All right.
All right.
Well,
so there you go. You got the Yankees to win, and you're putting up 6 sandwiches against my 5. So
And it's 6, and it's just straight win. There are no runs involved. Nothing.
No runs. No. Now, see, Drew. Now we got into this with hockey with the puck line. How often do people go with the run line? I never do it because I figure if I'm betting on this team to win and then they only win by 1, I'm screwed. So how often do people actually bet the run line in baseball?
My suggestion on it is that if you're looking at odds that are like -120 to +100, either side of the line you guys are talking about right now, it doesn't make sense to go to the run line because you're also getting fair odds. ESPN's analytics say that the Yankees should win this game 54.7% of the time, and -120 is 54.6% implied odds. So you're actually, Matt, getting 0.1% of better, likelihood versus the implied odds.
Nice.
But,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like, hockey, it might be slightly different because I usually prefer the 60-minute money line to a puck line for the NHL because I don't like betting that there's going to have to be an empty netter or something. But like if you're looking at Minnesota, Detroit, and you like the Twins at -180, I don't want -180. It's baseball. I don't want -180 on anything in baseball. So going to the spread to the run line option on Minnesota would take you down to -105. Not that I'm saying that that's a bet that you should take. Minnesota's 11 games above 500. The Tigers are basically a 500 team. They have a plus run differential and are 500 at home. So, that's not an advice that I'm giving out, but like if you're seeing -180 on the money line, the run line's going to give you something better, or at the very least more intriguing or appetizing. -180 when there's 7 games a week for every single team in the league is not worth my time.
There you go. All right, so there you go, Matt. Yeah, you will, when the show's over today, you will owe me another 6 sandwiches. So
you're so confident. They got Mr. Cortez on the mound. Come on, man.
Your track record speaks for itself, man. I'm pulling for you.
I've been doing. That's because, and Drew can back me up on this. I've been doing parlays for 99.9% of my bets. If I do just straight bets, that's not as fun, but it's probably smarter.
Yeah. All right.
You don't need probably in that.
All right. Let's. We got 15 minutes left in the show. Let's welcome Bisa in if Bisa is able to jump in here. And I know Bisa was she was preparing some letter. I'm going to let her decide as associate producer what we're doing to close the show. If we're going to do the mailbag or if we are going to bring in the trivia segment that Bisa got ready for us today. So we've got time for one of the two. And I'm hoping Bisa did not step away because Bisa's normally she's right on it, jumping right on, but she's not. Now we've lost her altogether. She's left the room. Bisa has left the room. She's like,
that's messed up, Dave. You just.
She said enough.
Oh, wait, no, she's coming back. Here she goes. She's coming back. All right, let's see. All right, we got her back. Hi, Bisa.
Hi.
Okay, so Bisa, it's your chance. You're calling your shot here. We got time for either mailbag or a trivia segment. So which one do you feel better about? Which one should we do?
We're going to do a trivia segment because I have one question for each of you, including Drew.
Okay, I love it. Let me pull up my my little trivia music. By the way, you while I'm pulling up the music, you had an idea about a phone-in line that we should use this weekend.
Yeah, so I was like, we should get a phone number, probably through Google Voice or whatever, and because we do the show typically on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Over the weekend, people are going to be drinking, so why not have them call in and just leave us voicemails of their life.
So if you're going to drunk dial LFG is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And then we can react to it. I can tell
Yeah,
you somebody who's not going to be drinking this weekend. This guy. I'm done. I'm out, man. I'm out.
Two
I'm out.
glasses has like a 7 business day recovery time. So
It does, man. It does. Just call me 2GD from now on. That's my, 2GD, 2 last day. That's it.
That's funny.
All right, so B, what is our game? How's this going to work? By the way, B, as far as the phone number, let's come up with something. B, so you put it on social media. I'll retweet it, and hopefully we'll get some traction with that.
Woo. Yeah.
All right. So what is our trivia bit here? What are we doing?
So I'm going to ask each one of you one question. I will allow you guys to talk amongst yourself for help, but only that one person can answer. I specifically tailored these to hopefully really test you guys.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with you, Drew.
All right.
You might know this, you might not, but fingers crossed. What NHL team has the most rings?
That would be the Montreal Canadiens. They're in the mid-20s.
Okay. Yes, they're 24 throughout their franchise history.
you got that way too fast.
They haven't had it since 1993, which was when Patrick Wall was their goaltender. And they won that cup. Still the most recent Canadian team to win the cup because, Florida beat you, Edmonton.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the last time. And they probably would have won another one later on in the 90s. But the coach of the Canadiens in 1995 kept Patrick Waugh in a game where he ended up giving up, I think, 7 or 8 goals and did not pull him at any point. And Waugh was so pissed off that he demanded a trade, went to Colorado. The Avalanche won the cup. That was 1995-96, which is why Waugh is not on any of those original Avalanche posters from 95, but he was the cup-winning goaltender because he stepped in after basically just saying, I'm done. If you're going to keep me out there to be embarrassed and give up like nearly 10 goals, get me out of here.
And what rule change, Drew, did after Waugh was so dominant? What rule change was employed after he was done?
So I think what you're actually thinking is Martin Brodeur with the trapezoid, and it wasn't when he was done.
No, I was going to say it was the jersey size. Waugh used to wear famously like a size 60 sweater.
And his leg pads were also massive, which they cut down in 05.
Yeah, but you had a Brodeur fact. What was your Brodeur fact?
He's the reason there's a trapezoid behind the net. I still say to this day they got it backwards. On the trapezoid. I think it should be removed. Brodeur hasn't played in the league in a decade, but he was so good at handling the puck on dump-ins where he would go to the corner and basically prevent the other team from ever recovering the puck in the offensive end that they drew the extra 2 lines on the ice coming out of the 04-05 lockout. And that rule was to only allow goalies to play the puck directly behind their own net to make sure Brodeur couldn't get the pucks in the corners and prevent the Devils' opponents from recovering it on a dump and chase. I still think if they're going to keep it, it's still backwards to me. If a goalie's going to play the puck behind the net, they should have to go 20 feet from their goal, which makes it where I think that goalies would be less likely to try and play it. But I would just be in favor of removing it because it's one of those lines on the ice that doesn't need to be explained to new fans, but it makes it slightly more confusing than it has to be. Hash marks are easy to explain, face-off dots are easy to explain, the circles are easy to explain, goal line, center ice line, and the blue lines are easy to explain. The trapezoid is just a waste, I think.
Hey, while we're talking about rules and getting into the minutia here, I have a quick baseball rule question for you, Drew.
Okay.
Since you seem to be like a rules guy and you're a baseball expert in addition to hockey. So, the fad now is and I don't know how long it's been, but I think it is growing. The sliding gloves that the guys wear on the base paths. Are there size limitations on those? Because why wouldn't you just make a sliding glove that's like 24 inches long to give you an extra advantage getting in there?
So I'm sure there are, or at the very least that it would not be considered a legal item at a certain size. I do not know for a fact there's something written to the rule, but on a stolen base, you only have, 6 seconds to go 90 feet, or 90 feet minus your lead. So I don't think that having that added drag of basically having a foam finger on your hand would be offset by the extra 12 inches of reach that you would get. You're talking about maybe one less step before you slide, but the drag coefficient on you, or whichever the proper term would be, that would hold you back if you're literally holding like a rowing oar on your hand, would probably offset.
I got a solution, Drew. You make it spring-loaded with the, with a little button in the palm.
Gadget style.
Just like little Spider-Man, just like
Yeah,
slide
you hit the
like
button
that.
as you're sliding, and it goes out.
Attention, Drew Goldfarb is wanted by NASA for his proficiency with math.
All right, we've stolen Bisa's thunder. So Drew crushed his question. So Bisa, we're moving on to question number 2. Who is your victim?
Matt.
Oh no.
All right, Matt. What NBA team has the most finals appearances? Not rings, not wins, but appearances.
That's a good question.
Ooh, man.
The Montreal Canadiens.
I'm going to say, but rings obviously are appearances. So I'm going to say the Lakers.
Yes, they have the most NBA final appearances with 32.
Should have bet sandwiches on that one.
There you go. Yeah, that would have been a good one. I was looking for that. Matt was money on that. I had a feeling it was the Lakers. They've lost a whole lot. They've lost a whole lot.
Yeah, the Celtics generally have won the title whenever they've gotten there, apart from one time in the 50s and a couple of times against the Lakers in the one time against the Lakers in the 2010s, and then one time against the Warriors in 2022. But who's counting?
Okay, next, we're going to go to Dave.
Why do I have a feeling I'm going to get this one wrong? I feel like I'm going to get the hard one. But all right, let's do it.
Everyone laugh at Dave.
I'm very excited to.
What MLB team has produced the most Hall of Famers?
That's a good one, too.
I know this one.
I mean, the low-hanging fruit has got to be the Yankees. I'm going to go with the Yankees.
Yes, 27.
Good job.
And yet they've retired like 45 numbers.
Yeah. And everybody who's Hall of Fame caliber dreams of playing there. So especially in today's day and age with free agency.
Unless you like having long hair or facial hair.
Right.
Yeah. And one microphone, right? 45 numbers and one microphone. Wasn't it Bob Shepard? Didn't he have his microphone?
Oh yeah. Bob Shepard's got the microphone. Yeah. He would pronounce the T in badminton for sure, Coase.
He would. He would have pronounced the N, the T. He would have done everything.
Derek Jeter, number 2. Number 2.
Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
All right, Coase, for a clean sweep here, Coase.
All right.
This is like Family Feud.
Who has the most Super Bowl appearances without a win?
That I do not know. Give me some. I'm going to go to. Can I phone a friend?
Yeah, you're.
Most Super Bowl appearances without a win. Is it does Marv Levy?
Oh, I know the answer. I think I know the answer.
I think I know this one.
You do?
Well, they lost 4 in a row.
There's 2.
So Jim Kelly? Jim Kelly?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the team that lost 4 in a row. I mean, who else doesn't? It's got to be a franchise that doesn't have any.
Was Bruce Smith on all 4 teams?
Yeah. Thurman
So
Thomas, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed.
I wonder if there's some random guys who have been on multiple rosters that have lost.
But
You
you didn't say which player, right? You said which franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was which player.
No, which franchise?
For me, it's one of 2. I think it's Buffalo, but Minnesota also because they've never won
Minnesota.
one. They also haven't been in
I don't
one
think they've been to 4
3.
though, have they?
That's the thing. I think they went to like 3.
No, they went to
in the
3. They
Super
lost
Bowl.
to the Raiders once, and then
Dolphins. So I like Buffalo going 4 in a row. I'm trying to think of the other teams that haven't won a Super Bowl. Like the Chargers have been once.
And they lost to the
once and they got
Niners.
smoked.
Yeah.
Should have been the Dolphins, but Pete Stoyanovich missed the field goal. I mean, the Bills with 4. Who else is?
Well, Drew
If
Coase
it's
gets.
franchise, I'm gonna go Buffalo Bills. Peace.
All right, so here's the thing. It is a tie between the Buffalo Bills and the Vikings.
Yeah.
They're tied for
Yeah.
the most Super Bowl appearances without an actual win. 4. So I guess 4 for each.
Yeah, 4 for
That's-
each, yes.
Where was the fourth one? What was the fourth one?
Well, it doesn't tell me. But
1970, 74, 75, 77.
Ooh, that's rough.
I mean, that's
I knew that there was
I
at
mean,
least 3 in that run.
the Lions had the chance to erase their names from this list of obviously 2023 seasons, but fell short to the 49ers.
Cha-ching.
So how many franchises are there without a Super Bowl title? You know,
there are a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
well,
a
especially
lot.
like the newer ones, right? I mean, new by our standards because we're old codes, but like the Texans and the Jaguars and, you know.
Yeah.
Carolina's been but hasn't won.
Yeah.
Carolina's been twice and hasn't won.
Jake
But
Delhomme.
you look at some of the standard bearers, you know, the Jets have been around. Well, no, that's not right.
They won Super Bowl
Browns, Bengals, they've been around forever. Lions have been around forever.
The Bengals have been, because they lost to the Niners
Yep.
in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Browns have never been.
The Browns won the NFL championship a few times before the Super Bowl, but they've never won it since they've never won in the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
And the
So
team formerly known as the Browns, but is an expansion team officially. The Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl
yeah.
2 years after leaving Cleveland.
Weren't they the Colts, the Baltimore Colts?
No,
they
the
became
Baltimore
the
Colts are
Jets.
now the Indianapolis Colts.
But Peyton Manning won a ring with Indy
Yeah.
against the Bears.
I was there.
The Colts lost Super Bowl III to the Jets.
Dave was there.
Oh, that's right. That was the Namath proclamation. We're gonna win, right?
Yeah.
I
I guarantee it. That was the name with guarantee. Anyway, Bisa, good questions as always. Bisa coming through with our trivia segment. And guys, that's it, man. We're out of time. And it's and Coz, you can go. What time are you going to go to bed tonight?
Well, you know, you could try to go to bed at 6, but that doesn't mean you're gonna fall asleep. I'll probably try to go to bed at 8. Wait, I have to get in at 1:30. So if I get up at 1, I can catch the bus. I've got everything laid out. So hopefully I can get to bed at 8 and get up by 1. And then I'll have 5 hours. And then I've got, how many hours did you say I'm working, Matt?
16? 16?
16. 16 hours.
525,600.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hours, man. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Coz, we'll be watching. I'll definitely be on the lookout for it. And, send us some updates on the text thread. And we will definitely be partaking. And I'm going to be a big badminton fan, Coz. I'm going to know all about it by the time the Olympics are over.
That's my guy. That's what I like. That's good.
Yeah,
and give LFG a shout out on the Olympics. When the hell else are we going to get that chance? Come on, man.
I know. I could say that.
Yeah, I'm sure Coz is going to go right out. He's going to. Welcome to the 2024 Badminton Championships at the Paris Games. You've heard us talk about it this morning on LFG. That's how you're going to start, right?
Oh, that's awesome. I'll definitely do that. I would laugh so hard.
Yeah.
I get kicked out, but I always said if you know you're going to retire, if you know you're done, go out big. Go out with something like that. You know?
Well, I don't think that you're retiring though, so this might not be the Olympics to do it.
I don't. We'll see. I think this might be the swan song. I thought I was done. I'm doing this. I think this might be the swan song.
Well, but next Olympics, it's in LA, man. It's much more time zone friendly. You're gonna totally do the LA one. There's no way you're not coming back for LA.
They might have other ideas.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All
We'll
right.
see.
Well, all right, guys.
Give us a shout out to LFG, then we'll know.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
That's true.
All right. Thanks for playing, guys. Bisa, great as always. Matt, nice work. Drew, good to see you. We'll be back next week. We don't know what day or time, but stay tuned on the social media channels and look for the Drunk Dial line. Bisa's going to get that set up. And enjoy the 2024 Paris Games, everybody. See you next time.
Bye-bye.